How are we doing, Bills? Welcome back to another Shroomy TV video on the crypto market as we are well and truly into a bear market. And right now in the market, I really think it's a risky time to be bullish and to be saying the bottom's in. And personally for me, I think the key word I want to mention here is there's potential. Based on previous cycles, we've seen the 85% move down from the 2014 high. We've seen an 83% move down from the 2018 high, and we've seen an 81% move down from the 2021 high. And so far, we've only seen a 52% this cycle, which is why I think it's a bad time to be on the wrong side and be bullish at the minute when I think there's could still be further to the downside. And depends on everyone's strategy if they're holding Bitcoin long term or whatever their strategy in the market is. I think it is a bit too early to be bullish, and I think we are going lower. Like 85% down, 83% down, 81% down. This so far only 52%, and all these times have been like a Q4 of the 4-year cycle low. And right now it is a bit premature, even though we can have an early low put in. But before we get into the rest of the video, if you are new here and enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and for everyone else, please smash that like button, as it really helps with getting this pushed out. And when the market's struggling, there's low attention on videos, especially in the crypto space at the minute. So any likes are greatly appreciated, and yeah, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into this video. Now, what we're seeing is we've seen Bitcoin peak in October at 126k. Then on the 10th of October, we had that massive liquidation event, a 19.6 billion liquidation in the crypto market. And that looks to mark the top for the cycle, in my opinion. And I get people are saying 5-year cycle, extended cycle, and people are saying the low's basically in. I still think we're going to get a 4-year cycle low, which is, I'll actually zoom out on this chart. It's just that 4-year cycle high, 4-year cycle low, 4-year cycle high, 4-year cycle low. You can see as well on the Fib retracements from high to low, it's under the 0.786, under the 0.786, under the 0.786. And if we look at that, this cycle so far, we are at the 50% area, that's 70 odd K. And if we were to see the 0.786, which again, keyword potentially could, there's no guarantee, that's about 40k. So 40k Bitcoin later this year wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, we could absolutely bottom here and go off to Valhalla. And all the bulls right now will be correct, even though I'm bearish at the minute. But as I said in previous videos, for me, what we've seen is the price come down, bear flag, come down, and another bear flag. Which all a bear flag is this pattern, which if I go in the daily time frame, now, guys, by no means am I saying I'm spot on here, I'm right. All I'm doing is just looking at the charts and going off what I've learned in the market so far and kind of recording what I have to say. I'm by no means saying I'm an expert or I'm correct. I'm just putting my thoughts out there for other people to watch, and if they enjoy them, which some people do, they subscribe and watch the videos. And again, if they disagree or they do agree and they leave comments, again, great for me to read and learn from them as well. So for me, I'm no means claim to be an expert, but I think Bitcoin's got lower to go. As I've shown on this video, we've seen 85%, first cycle 83%, second cycle 81%, first cycle, and so far we're only 52% down this cycle. And again, the 4-year cycle low, again, gives me food for thought that it's going to be later this year and we're going lower, which is just my take. And we can see this massive support from 2015 that we bounced off in 2022. We broke down in here, which again, just a simple line on the chart, but that's just my take. Anyway, back to this bearish flag pattern, bear flag. This is the flagpole down, this chop around, and then the crash. Chop around. So currently we're in this kind of chop around, and I believe we're going to come down again. If that next leg down goes to 50k, could that be a bottom? Absolutely. Even if we just have one more leg down and we put in a bottom, fair enough. That could definitely happen. I wouldn't say we need to go to 40k. I think one leg down we could go higher, who knows. But my point is, at the minute, I think we have lower to go. Whether it's a good time to buy Bitcoin at the minute is up to everyone as an individual. For me, for the long term, I don't think it's a bad area to get in right now. Especially people think we're going to burst up from here and this is a low, then fair enough. But again, at the same time, we've got this 81k CME gap, which remains open. If I go on the CME futures chart, I would show you that. I've showed you it in a previous video, but that is still open at 81k. We're yet to fill that. So could this, we got to about 60k at the start of February, and we've been chopping up since. But this is what seems to happen. Oops. We come down with bear flag, and if you look at the time duration, that is like a 71 day, so 2 months and a bit. And in that time period, Bitcoin's in a range of about 10% high to low. But then what comes is we get a massive 37% move down, but what we notice is how quick that happens. It happens like within a blink of an eye, within 2 week period. So we'll chop around for about 70 days, over 2 months, and then the move down's impulsive. It happens within 2 weeks. So we come down, we chop around for 2 months and a bit, and then we impulse down massively. We go from 92k to 60k, we lose 30k worth of Bitcoin, and in a 2 week period. And now again, what I'm seeing is another bear flag. Whether this plays out to the downside, I don't know. I'm just highlighting that we've seen it happen before. We've seen how it works. It chops around for ages, and then we get an impulse down. And again, I think that could be on the cards here. So I'll keep it on. But I do think this CME gap, are we going to close it? Are we going to fill it before we make that move down, potentially? Again, if we were to rally to 80k right now, I think all the bills would be going absolutely berserk. And then it would make sense for the market then just to flip and crash the price. And yeah, everyone who got overexcited, started putting on leverage longs, would get absolutely wrecked. Again, last cycle, what we can see is, again, these kind of bear flags. These kind of bear flags the whole way down. That was kind of the theme of the last cycle. So again, if you can see those, if I paste that again, what we can see is just the high in November 2021, we come down, we kind of bear flag, come down, bear flag, come down, bear flag, come down. And then eventually we put in a bottom in here, which again, we've not yet seen in my opinion. We're just having bear flag, bear flag, bear flag. And if we look at the similarities to this cycle, it's come down, bear flag, come down, bear flag. So we had kind of 3 bear flags in there, and we got below the 0.786 fib. Right now, we've had 2 bear flags, and we're only just under the 0.5 fib, halfway, 50% down. We're nowhere near that 0.786 fib, which we have seen in the previous 3 cycles prior. Does not mean it needs to repeat, absolutely by no means, but I'm seeing there's potential. We've seen it from high, and then go down below 0.76, from high to low 0.786, high to low 0.786 fib. Again, could happen again, not seeing it's guaranteed. And again, bear markets on Bitcoin roughly last 52 weeks from high to low. For example, from the 2017 high to low, again, roughly a year and a bit of just, again, from 2021 high to low, from 2021 high to low, again, you're looking at about a year and a bit. And as I've shown you on the previous screen, it comes in 85%, 83%, 81%, so far only 52%. So I think my rationale for being still risk off at the minute is absolutely valid. Again, if other people are bullish, fair enough. I can see both sides to the argument, given we are down 50%. People were buying Bitcoin at 125% back in October of last year. So buying at 72k now isn't the worst idea in my opinion. But yes, we could still go lower. But people think bear markets, what we have seen at the minute is nobody's interested in crypto right now. Everyone runs for the hills, and for me, that's what gets me excited. In my opinion, true wealth is kind of built in a bear market. Down here in these cheap areas, you see we correct 85% was at the first cycle, and then we rally over 10,000%. Then we correct 80%, we rally 2,000%. Then we correct 80%, then we rally 700%. So let's see how it plays out. But these bear markets in crypto, these 4-year cycle highs and lows that we've seen the previous 3 cycles, as on this chart demonstrates, they provide great opportunities, which is why I'm sticking around. And I'm not necessarily looking for 40k to get in. I'm going to start chipping away fairly soon, as obviously we are down 50% from the high, from the previous bear market low, but just a wee bit more I reckon. Even anywhere below the 0.786, that 57k area would be a nice entry to start chipping away, for me personally. Obviously everyone's got their own opinions on the market. But yeah, as I said, what I see in the market is kind of this bear flag kind of going on here, and then obviously that 81k CME gap I could see potentially getting filled before we head lower, if that is to happen. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just as I've mentioned, I think I am the biggest crypto bull, the biggest Bitcoin bull. Like in the future, like going forward, I've previously mentioned I don't believe in fiat money, and I think the system's just broken because they just print money out of thin air, and it's having loads of complications. And yeah, you can see silver's going absolutely mental, commodities are going absolutely mental, because people are stacking up on metals because they're seeing what's happening with the dollar and how much the Fed are printing. The Fed can't print more Bitcoin. There's a limited supply of Bitcoin. Again, one of the reasons I'm bullish. But for me, I'm risk off at the minute because there's potential, keyword potential, as I previously said, based on the previous cycles and bear markets, that we could go lower. And yeah, I just don't want to be on the wrong side of the market. If things change, I can adapt, and that's fine. But I still believe it's a bad time to be a bull at the minute. It's a bit premature, and I'm happy to wait. I'm not rushing into any positions at the minute. I'm looking to get the best bang for my buck. So it is what it is. Again, if you went to a shop and you wanted something that's down 50%, you're going to buy it. But it's just the greedy part of me that wants that 60% down, that 80% down. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. So yeah, it is what it is. So for me, I don't really want to be bullish on Bitcoin here, to be honest, given what I'm seeing in the charts. But that's just my TA. Everyone could see the chart differently. Everyone could have a different opinion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, I hate doom posting. I hate being bearish. Nobody wants to watch it. People have already chucked crypto because the market's down, which is fair enough. But that is when I double down. But for people that are still watching, they don't want to hear me coming out and being bearish and bearish and bearish. But when I'm feeling bearish, I can't just come out and say I'm bullish, because that's not how I'm feeling. This channel for me is like a journal, just me giving my thoughts. As I mentioned before, this is just how I feel. But again, with Bitcoin looking the way it is, kind of the bear flag, and then the 4-year low kind of thing, the thesis. Total DeFi kind of adds up. We had, from 2017 to 2018, we then had the bear market, this kind of symmetrical triangle pattern, and we blasted up all the way, kind of absolutely parabolic. And then kind of this cycle, from high to low, we didn't even get up to the previous all-time high in 2021. And then this kind of symmetrical triangle, we can see in here, we've kind of broken down to the downside. So again, and yet, this is another thing. This kind of ties back to the business cycle, the Fed cutting rates, loads of different stuff. But yeah, so the business cycle, for example, which is on the screen at the minute, what we can see, this kind of in the first cycle, if I can make it smaller. Yeah, so you can see that when the business cycle was, when altcoins were doing well, and well, DeFi was doing well in 2018 was when the business cycle was in a massive expansion. We then had the bear market for DeFi when the business cycle was in contraction around COVID time. The business cycle then expands above 50, massive expansion, and that is when we surpassed the 2018 highs and went absolutely mental. And since then, we're yet to make an all-time high or even match it. But again, at the same time, we've been in this massive contraction on the business cycle. Yes, we're just above 50 in here now, if I was to show you the PMI chart. But again, that makes sense. Next cycle, hopefully the business cycle is going to expand and we get something like we've seen in here, this massive expansion. So again, loads of reasons I'm bullish going forward. Just, I think that's the rationale for this cycle. And I think people just fail to accept that this cycle just wasn't what everyone hoped because of lots of different things, such as the fiscal policy and the money printing, QT, QE, etc. But yeah, the next cycle is hopefully when I'm hoping there'll be loads of money printing. Obviously, QT ended on the 1st of December last year, so it is what it is. And then obviously the USDT dominance, stable coins, when this goes up, it's bullish. When this goes up, it's bearish for crypto assets. When it comes down, it means people are confident in the market, like we've seen in March of 2024 and January of 2025, when stablecoin dominance for Tether came down to about 4%. That's marked, again, local highs for altcoins. A cycle euphoria was felt in the market. I certainly felt it. And again, when we got up to this kind of 6% area, was when the Japan market problems, the tariffs back in April of last year. Again, they marked altcoin local bottoms, max pain. However, we then, from December into January, February this year, we had this kind of bull flag and we just burst above this previous key level, which was about 6.2%, which unfortunately was support. We then flipped into resistance with the Japan market problems, then the tariffs rejected, come down, and you can see the altcoins done well when they came down to this 5% area. But this in here, when we just burst through this key level, this kind of marked the bear market for me. And right now, I've just drawn absolutely stupid stuff on this chart, but you see this bear flag, this bull flag. You can see we've kind of come up. You can see we've kind of come up, bull flag, come up, and I think we're in a process of another bull flag. So we've got bull flags on USDT dominance, which when that goes up, it's bearish for crypto, and then we've got Bitcoin, in my opinion, in a bear flag. Again, that's more confidence that Bitcoin looks like it might go lower, and then stablecoin dominance looks like it might go higher, which again, for me, says remain risk off for the moment, and then just wait and see what happens. This might not play out, and this might not play out, but if it does, my theory would be right, and for me right now, I need to stay risk off. I'm absolutely bullish long term. It's just for now, the next few months, I am remaining risk off, see what entries I can get into the market. I've accepted it's a bear market in my head. That's my take on the market. People might say we're not in a bear market. That's fair enough. That's their thoughts. That's what makes a market, everyone having an opinion. So, yeah. I'll keep making content even though, in fact, I want to double down. I want to keep making more and more and more content because people have left crypto. And I want to make a kind of channel here, a solid foundation of people who are staying here through the bull market, through the bear market, through the tough times. And hopefully get a little community going, as I previously mentioned, but that's further down the line. For now, I just want to keep making content, get my thoughts on the market, and look to make the most of this bear market. As I previously said, I think bear markets are where the true wealth is made.